Bye.
Bye.
Drive carefully.
Take care now. Oh, just like to see what a great party it's been.
Oh, thanks, Ned.
A lot of people had their doubts when they heard you was getting married again, Kim.
And I'm sure you were one of them, Jan.
Well, I admit it, but since I've been speaking to Steve, he's made me realise that he is just what you and little James need.
We both know you'll be very, very happy.
I know we will. Even if it did take me a bit of time to realise it too.
Can I borrow your wife-to-be for a minute, Steve?
Yeah, what's up?
Girl talk. Nothing to interest you.
What the hell happened to you?
He says he and Linda had a row.
You mean you tried it on with her and she put you in your place?
I was just, being friendly.
Which can hardly surprise you, considering you spent your whole evening pointing him in her direction. I thought you used to be a secretary, not a pimp.
I was just trying to find some way of stopping your grubby husband from pawing at me. That does not give him a licence to behave like an animal.
It was all just a terrible misunderstanding.
Oh, and how about the drugs you were sneaking upstairs? Were they a misunderstanding too? I caught your husband taking cocaine. I hope you realise what a worm you've married.
I'm painfully aware of that, thank you. I also know how eager you were to get into the partnership. It suits your social climbing campaign.
And it's the business we've got to think of, Kim.
I doubt Biff will agree when he hears you've been interfering with his wife.
Then he mustn't hear about it.
I'm surprised he doesn't know already. He certainly went chasing after you.
We didn't get very far. We just pulled into a lay-by after the misunderstanding. Linda drove off at speed.
In Steve's car?
She was very angry.
I'm sure she'll drop the car back when she's calmed down. The important thing is, it's just her word against his. And who's going to believe a farm girl before Lord Oakwell?
Anyone who really knows him.
Share your distaste, but unfortunately we both have a vested interest in protecting his good name. You because of the partnership, me because I'm married to the idiot.
You mean we have to lie for him?
Don't pretend the idea is a novelty. Anyone who knows your history can see you're an experienced storyteller. I'm sure we can rely on you to keep all this quiet.
So much for inviting us.
Our pleasure.
We'll all miss you, Alan. But I'm really glad to see you happy.
Well, I was thinking the same about you two. Congratulations on making an honest woman of her, Steve.
The triumph of optimism over experience, Alan.
When's the happy day?
We haven't actually fixed anything yet.
But we're hoping it will be very soon.
Good idea. Don't let the grass grow under your feet. I think I've finally managed to get that through to Alan. Bye.
Bye. She's right, you know. Maybe we should just stick a pin in a calendar and denounce it now.
I prefer careful planning, and I'm not making another speech. Besides, half our guests have gone already.
Yeah, it's thinned out quite a bit. I haven't seen Tara and Alex for a while. They're usually the last to leave.
I had to send them home. Alex got rather drunk.
Again? I did warn you about him.
Yes, I know, you're right. But I thought it was for the best to get him off home farm property before he disgraced himself.
Everyone seemed to have a good time.
It was a great success. You will be staying over tonight.
Well, I don't suppose anyone can object, now that we're officially engaged. Penny for them?
I was just thinking what a great party it was.
Glad to hear it. Well, we've told the whole village we're tying the knot now. It's a bit late for second thoughts.
Never crossed my mind.
We could be really happy if you let us.
What's that supposed to mean?
I know this isn't how you planned your life or who you planned it with, but it's time to forget about the past.
Believe me, Steve, I want to. But sometimes the past has a habit of catching up with me.
But he's dead and gone. I'm here and alive. And I love you. It's a new book, clean page.
Sounds like an offer I can't refuse.
Then I think it's time for bed.
Morning, Mrs. Tate.
Morning. Oh, we had a big party here last night. Still a lot of cleaning up to be done.
Yeah, I heard about your engagement. As a matter of fact, it was your fiancé I wanted to see. We found his car in Rocks Lane.
Well, Steve's still in bed, but I'm sure he'll be relieved to hear it. We'll collect it later.
I'm afraid that won't be possible, Mrs. Tate. It's part of an ongoing investigation.
Look, we know Linda took the car, but we don't want to be pressing any charges. She's just a kid.
I've spoken to her husband. He says that you told him that Lord Oakwell drove off with her in Mr. Marchant's car.
Well, they did go out for a few minutes, but he came straight back. He and his wife left soon after. I don't know what Linda got up to after that. You better ask her.
Can't do that, Mrs. Tate. You see, Linda Fowler died in Hutton General Hospital earlier this morning.
I wish we'd never had that damn party. Then she'd still be alive.
You can't blame yourself for this, Kim. It was just an accident. She must have had too much to drink.
Doesn't stop me feeling guilty. She was just a farm girl, Sophie. That party was probably the most glamorous evening she'd had in her life.
That still doesn't make it your fault.
She wasn't the only one who did something stupid.
What are you talking about?
It's all water under the bridge now. Too late to do anything about it. I'd like for you to send some flowers to the Glovers.
Yeah. Of course, I'll get on to that now.
You know, people think I'm as hard as nails. Maybe I am. But if there was any way I could turn the clock back, I'd do it.
Is this some kind of sick joke? Like you care?
Look, Biff, I know you're upset, but I don't think there's any point taking it out on Kim.
Why, what's the matter with her? Can't she speak for herself? You should be used to this. People have an habit of dying near you.
I'm so sorry about Linda.
No, you will be when I finish with you.
I think you ought to go, Biff, before you say something you might regret.
Oh, that's the Kim I know. First the flowers and then the threats. Well, it doesn't matter anymore. Because without Linda, I don't care whether I live or die. So there's nothing that you can do that'll threaten me.
Leave it, Biff! I said leave it!
Get off me! Get off me! I'm not going till I've said what I came for. You're living on borrowed time, Kim Tate. There's only one thing left for me now, and that's to settle your account. And one way or another, I'm going to get you.
Biff, come on, lad, let's go home.
No, I'm not going on till I've had some answers. Linda would have never got in that car if it hadn't been for her. Now, I want to know what's going on.
We all do, but this isn't the way.
What was your game, eh? You and your posh cronies. What did you do to her?
I've got nothing else to say to you, Biff.
Well, you're not going to get away with this for long. Because it's not just going to be me that's asking the questions. You're going to have the law to answer to.
And that's who we've got to trust. Let's leave it to the police, eh? And see if she can sweet-talk her way out of this one. Come on.
Maybe we should call them now.
What?
I heard him threaten you, Kim. I think you should let them know for your own protection.
I don't want the police brought into this.
How very noble of you.
He was just upset. He didn't know what he was saying.
Well, he must be very naive, then. Everybody should know by now that your parties always end in tears.
Thanks, I need that.
I'm not surprised after the way Biff laid into you.
He did seem rather angry. Almost homicidal, I'd say.
Well, all Kim did was send flowers.
He was completely out of order. I think I should have a word with him.
Just leave it, Steve. I don't want any more trouble.
It sounds like that's just what you'll get if I don't sort him out.
He's just lost his wife. He's upset, angry. I'm sure he'll see things more clearly when he's calmed down.
Well, you've changed, Kim. I've never known you so understanding. You'll be manning the phone lines for the Samaritans next.
Don't you care about anything? Linda Fowler is dead. She was just a kid. We owe it to her family to at least try and help them through this.
They're just tenants. We don't owe them anything, and she was just a farm girl. No one important. Maybe there are other reasons for this sudden attack of conscience.
What's that supposed to mean?
I'm not sure yet. But Home Farm's cupboards are rather crowded with all those skeletons.
Well, Kim, this is an unexpected pleasure.
I doubt that very much. Now, where's Alex?
Out.
And when will he be back?
Didn't say.
Then I'll wait.
I'm afraid that wouldn't be convenient. You'd better say what you must to me.
I lied to the police for you.
We've been through this.
I could very easily change my story. Tell them the truth. That Alex did drive away from Home Farm with Linda.
And what would be the point of that?
Biff Fowler practically accused me of covering up Linda's murder.
Did he now? Well, it was an accident. When he calms down, he'll see that.
I won't be a party to a cover-up. And now, if there's something I should know.
There's nothing. Her death changes nothing. Linda had been drinking. She crashed the car, that's all. Now, I really don't see why we have to go around the houses.
Don't patronise me. Only Alex and Linda know what really happened, and one of them can't say.
Kim, let's not fall out.
If I find out you've used me, I'll break you, no matter how rich Daddy is.
We both want the same thing, for this to go away very quickly.
Then you'd better start pulling those expensive strings of yours. I want to see Alex.
Tomorrow, I promise. It'll all have been taken care of.
And to think we're supposed to aspire to be like you. The aristocracy.
Just let me talk to Biff.
Just leave him alone. I can understand how he feels.
It's for his good as much as yours. The state he's in is liable to do something we'll all regret.
Yeah, well, I'm going for a long ride. Forget about the whole thing.
Kim, you sure there's nothing you haven't told me about the accident?
Don't you trust me?
Yeah, of course I do. But Biff isn't the only one asking questions.
Morning. Morning. I need to talk to you both about Linda Fowler's death.
I was just going out. Will this take long?
I think it might. You see, the post-mortem shows that Mrs. Fowler couldn't have been driving the car. Somebody moved her into the driving seat. It might be easier if we continue this discussion inside.
How can you be so sure she wasn't alone in the car?
The pathologist was able to define which injuries were caused by the initial impact, and they're consistent with Mrs. Fowler having been on the passenger side.
Isn't science wonderful?
There's also bruising, which suggests that Mrs. Fowler had been dragged into the driver's seat after the accident.
So if the driver had gone for help instead of running away...
Who knows? Mrs. Fowler could still be alive now.
Does that make it murder?
I doubt that's the charge the DPP would bring, but in my book we're dealing with a killer. And I want him put away for a very long time.
Naturally, we'll do anything we can to help.
I'm glad to hear it, sir. When Mr. Fowler went after his wife, he was under the impression that Lord Oakwell was in the car with her. They did leave together. I've been all over the witness statements, and only 2 people seem to recall Lord Oakwell still being at Home Farm at the time of the accident. His wife and you, Mrs. Tate.
I was very busy at the party looking after our guests. I suppose I might have been mistaken.
I suggest you think very carefully about what happened that night. And remembering the penalties for giving false evidence, let us know if you want to alter your statement.
I love this.
That's an understatement.
Depraved aristocrat leaves girl to die to save his own skin.
And Home Farm mentioned on every page. Just when we needed some good publicity, we're right back in the dirt.
Or because our chairman was dazzled by the nobility.
We warned you not to go into partnership with him, but you wouldn't listen.
OK, you've both made your point. It's a pity you can't be as concerned about poor Linda as you are about the bad publicity.
Poor Linda? Poor Linda's dead. We're the ones who have to cope with the consequences, and before you start getting sanctimonious, I didn't notice you being too concerned about her at the party. You just seemed to go out of your way to shove her in Alex's direction.
I never knew anything like this would happen.
Look, there's no point in blaming each other. What's important is to minimise the damage to the business.
What's important is seeing Alex pay for what he's done.
I'm sure the police are quite capable of dealing with that.
Not without some help. I'm going to Oakwell Hall.
Bad idea. The less contact there is between us and the Oakwells, the easier it will be to distance ourselves from them when the press starts sniffing around.
Well, you worry about the press if you want to. I just want to see that slug nailed. Where is he?
I've no idea.
I find that very hard to believe.
Yes, so do the police.
They know exactly what happened. When they catch up with him, he's finished.
He's finished now, as far as I'm concerned. I'll be starting divorce proceedings after a discreet interval of grief and shock.
Then why did you let me lie for him?
Don't be naive, Kim. It's not your style. If he'd been taken into custody after the party, it would have been most inconvenient. We needed a little time to make arrangements, that's all.
You mean you're going to let him get away with it?
Oh, he'll have lost everything. Money, power, position. Surely that's punishment enough.
Not for what he did. I want to see him rot in prison.
Well, that's your problem, Kim. You let your heart rule your head.
No one could accuse you of that.
It's lucky one of us is thinking clearly. If this case ever came to court, it might highlight a few things we'd both rather remained hidden.
That won't stop me going to the police.
It's too late, Kim. You can't help anyone now. Least of all you.
Meaning?
I've no wish to fight you, but I'm ready if I have to. If you get in my way, you'll regret it. I'm sorry I've had a wasted journey.
Oh, I wouldn't say that. At least it showed me exactly what I'm dealing with. You disgust me.
I've done what I had to. From what I've heard of your history, you've been guilty of that many times.
Don't pretend we're alike. We've got absolutely nothing in common.
Well, certainly not in terms of background. But I pride myself on not being a snob, and we've got to find some way of working together.
What are you talking about?
The stud farm. Alex realised he could only be a sleeping partner from now on, so he persuaded me to look after his share.
Forget it. I'm not working with you.
You have no choice.
He signed an agreement before he left. It's all quite legal. Pleasant journey. Didn't waste much time, did you? Before you started meddling in the stud business?
Well, that's nothing to do with the stud business. It's a horse I was looking at for my private use.
Really?
He wasn't up to scratch, so I'm sending him back.
Well, maybe I should take a look at it.
That won't be necessary.
I insist. If we're going to be such good friends, I'm sure you'll value my opinion.
Leave it, Kim.
Ah, what is it? A fine young stallion? Oh, no. It's a gelding. And a rather pathetic sport. You pathetic little creep.
Shame you didn't realise that before you started an affair with him. He's told me all about it, including the way you propositioned him the day we got back from our honeymoon.
What? It's a lie. He asked me to become his mistress. I turned him down.
Wrong. I've got a signed statement. It might come in useful in the divorce.
Tell her the truth.
I'm sorry, Kim. I can't face going to prison. Can you imagine what they do to me?
We're wasting time. There'll be a warrant issued for Alex's arrest in a few hours.
How do you know that?
My father has friends in the right places. It would be better if Alex was out of the country before the police come back.
Not for me. I intend to tell them exactly where to find him.
If it gets to court, Alex's defence will be forced to show your involvement. You can't win, Kim. Now I suggest we hold any further discussion in the house. Alex has a plane to catch.
I'd like to go home now. I'd rather we didn't meet up again.
You seem to be forgetting about the stud farm.
You're not serious about us working together after this?
My family has been subsidising Alex for a very long time. He's never really had a penny of his own, so I'm entitled to look after our investment.
How about I buy your share?
I'm afraid the price would have to go up quite a bit to cover all the trouble it's caused.
You really are a vindictive cow, aren't you?
Takes one to know one, Kim. But now you've kissed one partner goodbye, you might as well get used to a new one.
I told you wouldn't find him.
Well, I might have known I'd have found you here.
I want Alex caught as much as you do. I'm really sorry about what happened to Linda.
Don't give us that. I lost a son because of you. You don't care about anyone but yourself.
You're all in this together. Killing her, then try to cover it up.
I had nothing to do with it. You've got to believe that.
But you won't get away with it.
That's enough. I've been very lenient with the pair of you, but if you don't go now, I shall have to call the police.
Oh, we'll be back. And we're gonna keep coming back. Until you and the rest of your friends have suffered as much as what we have. There's no place that you can hide. Because wherever you go, I'll find you.
There's a fella left a message on your answer.
Turn it off.
I said, there's a fella left a message on your answering machine, and he says he's going to fax you some figures through.
Who was it?
Well, I I don't know it was. I don't listen in. None of my business. Catering consultant, he said he was. Says he's sure you'll find the figures satisfactory. If you want any more details, give him a ring and the figures are on your fax.
Thank you.
Turner's sitting on a gold mine and he doesn't even know it.
We'll meet again, Mrs. Tate. I'd given you up, actually. Don't worry, your nanny entertained me.
We've all made statements, Inspector.
Yes, I've read them. Another quiet night at home farm.
Sophie's as upset as any of us. Now, if she said anything...
She hasn't. Drugs and alcohol, Mrs. Tate. Seems Lord Oakwell had his fair share of both.
Well, the alcohol, he got here. To that I plead guilty. The drugs, well, must have brought them himself.
But you didn't see him take anything?
No.
And Linda Fowler? Did he ply her with drink before whisking her away in that car?
Well, if he did, I didn't see. It was a party, Inspector. People were enjoying themselves.
Quite. Perhaps I should direct these questions to Lord Oakwell when I find him.
You mean you haven't?
No. Oh, does that surprise you?
Amnesia? Have you thought of that?
Yours or his?
The man bangs his head in the crash, wanders off onto the moors. If I was you, I'd organise a search party.
Oh, no, Mrs. Tate. He had memory enough to dash off on an unexpected business trip, taking money and passport with him.
I see.
That's if Lady Oakwell is to be believed. She intimated that you and dear Alex were good friends.
So that's what all this is about. Well, you must know this place as well as I do. Search it by all means.
Death follows you about like a shadow, doesn't it? We'll talk again.
Damn fire.
What does it sell? 2 barrels a week?
Yeah, it's all on that breakdown I gave you. Whose is the motor?
Ah, Kim's. I couldn't use mine, could I? I've got some promising news for you, Terry.
Oh, aye?
In 2 years' time, the Woolpack could be in the Egon Rone Guide.
All systems go, then. Hey, do you want to hear my good news? Big Al's just given Gerald Taylor the elbow. Leaves just me in the frame.
You?
Us. Hey, look, I'll finish off here and we'll go make him an offer.
No, Terry, when the time's right, I'll make him an offer.
Steve, I saw this as a partnership. Your money, my expertise.
Terry, there's nothing here but potential. And that potential needs a lot of developing.
Yeah, well, you wouldn't know that unless I told you.
Yeah, and I'm grateful. Look, no offence, Terry, but I don't think your particular brand of expertise quite fits in with what I've got in mind.
I'm not looking forward to this.
You don't have to go.
And what will that say to the village? Linda died after leaving our party. It's only right I should be there.
You sure the Glovers are going to see it that way?
I'll just sit quietly at the back. I don't want any trouble.
Well, come on, we'd better go.
Oh, no. You're not going to the funeral.
Good hell.
For God's sake, Chris, you tried to attack the girl. There'll be a riot if you turn up at that church.
Whatever you think, I liked Linda.
You haven't got an ounce of sensitivity in your body.
The Glovers won't exactly welcome you with open arms.
You're not coming with us. If you go alone.
Comfort one another with these words. And the good we have not done.
How dare you come to Linda's funeral, you bunch of little hypocrites?
This is neither the time or the place, Biff.
Oh, well, have you come to see if you've done a good job properly, then, eh?
Please.
And you? You're a disgrace to turn up after what you did to my daughter.
I came here to pay my respects to Linda. I liked her very much.
Don't you even mention her name. You could have stopped her and Oakwell getting into that car, but you didn't. My wife's dead because of you.
That's enough, Biff.
Come away, Biff.
No! This was Linda's funeral. I want them cleared out of here.
I think it'd be best all round.
There's really no reason for this. We were going anyway.
I realise the Glovers must be devastated, but I just don't think it's fair blaming you, Kim.
We all know who's to blame.
And nothing's been proved.
Oh, come on, it's obvious. The coward steals my car, smashes it up while it's off his face and leaves Linda to die. What kind of subhuman does that?
I saw them drive away. I should have stopped them.
Don't reproach yourself. How are you to know that Lord Cokehead was a pathetic druggie?
Poor Linda.
Mr. come back to work yet, Biff. We understand.
I'm not here to work.
I should think not. Take 2 weeks paid leave, Biff. And if you need any more time after that, then just come and talk to me.
What's up? Guilty conscience?
I know how I felt when Frank died.
Don't debase Linda's memory. The way you felt about Frank is something to be ashamed of.
Go home, Biff.
Not before I've had the pleasure in telling you to stick your job.
Let's not be hasty.
You think you're so grand, don't you? But the rest of Emmerdale know the truth about you. You're just a sad, shriveled up social climber who couldn't love if she tried.
That's enough.
Not quite. That's my savings. 500 quid. Should cover the rent for the next 2 months, because I can't bear living rent-free because he tried it on with Linda.
You've made yourself clear. And I feel sorry for you. With Linda. But I don't want you to set foot on home farm property ever again. Understand?
Fine. But I'll be there when the police come to cart you away for your part in killing Linda. Do you understand?
Biff. I'm really sorry about what happened at the funeral. I didn't know Christopher was going.
And what about Kim?
Oh, come on, Biff. We all know it was that scumbag Oakwell who was to blame.
Nah, she must have known he was smashed. And then she encouraged Oakwell to give Linda a lift home. She loaded the gun, Steve.
You're wrong.
Don't let her pull the wool over your eyes, or you'll end up like Frank.
I know you're angry about what happened, Biff, and I couldn't be more sorry for Linda. But I can't let you talk about Kim like this.
Get out while you can, Steve. She's a witch. But I promise you I'll get my revenge on her for this.
You better go.
With pleasure.
Hello, little man. Has that horrible tooth come through yet?
Ah, I wish.
Did you know Alex Oakwell used drugs?
I hadn't a clue. Do you think I'd have done business with him if I'd known?
I went to see the Glovers this morning.
Yeah, I saw Biff. Not coping too well, are they?
Why is he so sure you're to blame for what happened?
They need a scapegoat. I'm usually fair game.
I couldn't forgive you if I thought you had anything to do with Linda's death.
I am sick of being at the centre of everyone's conspiracy theory. I liked Linda a lot. Do you think for 1 second I'd want her dead?
This is an unexpected pleasure.
Did you know Ned Glover sitting outside your gate?
Ah, been there for a while. Can't seem to shift him.
So call the police.
He's waiting for Alex. He'll get bored soon.
Any news of him?
He rang this morning. The weather's fine in Paraguay, apparently.
Not exactly suffering for his sins, is he? So when are you planning on joining him?
I'm not.
Poor Alex.
He'll get over it, I'm sure.
This has all worked out rather well for you, hasn't it?
Let's just say my relationship with Alex has improved dramatically since he went to South America.
What do you mean?
I'm divorcing him.
On what grounds?
Abandonment.
And what about the business?
Signed it over to me before he left.
Good. That'll make it easier for me to buy you out.
I thought I'd explain that to you. I'm not selling.
No, it's me who didn't make myself clear. I want your half of the stud. All you have to do is name your price.
I'm glad we were able to come to an agreement.
I'll run the business. You act as a consultant.
Until I find my feet.
And if it doesn't work out, you'll sell to me. No one else.
It'll work out. I think we'll make a good team.
You've got 3 months to prove it.
Can you smell burning?
Well, it is bonfire night.
Oh, my God!
Call the fire brigade. I'll see to the horses.
What's going on?
Do it! Well, the horses are all accounted for, thank God.
It hardly matters now. We've nowhere to put them.
We'll have to find temporary stables for the time being.
It's over. The stud was the last chance of saving the house. It may as well all have burnt down.
The business is insured.
The horses are. We won't get anything near the value of the stables.
We'll see.
It was obviously deliberate.
What makes you say that?
It doesn't take a genius to work out who's got a grudge against me.
Looks like we'll soon find out.
What do you want?
You've done some stupid things in your time, Ned, but nothing gets even close to this.
I don't know what you're talking about.
You endangered yourself, everyone who works at the stables, and a dozen priceless horses.
You've got the wrong bloke, love.
You've not hurt the Oakwells. You risked everything, and they're just laughing at you.
Look, I'm busy.
I can understand you wanting revenge,
Can you?
but that's not the way to do it. You've done her a favour. She'll put in an overinflated insurance claim and laugh all the way to the bank.
Good luck to her.
She's going to the police. You've given her the chance to get rid of you.
Excuse me.
Listen. Let me see that. You shouldn't play with matches.
I've been burning some clothes.
Evidence? For God's sake, Ned. Your family's suffered enough. They can't afford to lose you as well.
I did what I had to do.
You're even stupid enough to admit it.
What are you going to do?
I don't know. But do yourself a favour. Stay away from Tara. Do you understand?
I've finished it.
Anything we should know about?
Looks like it was started by a firework.
Did you listen to a word I said?
Jack sent us. See if he can give you a hand with anything.
You've got a nerve showing your face here.
It's a bit of a mess, isn't it?
It was arson.
At this stage, I can't rule it out.
There's the man who did it. Call the police.
Oi! You have to have some proof before you start chucking accusations around like that.
You started the fire, now you've come back to check up on your handiwork.
Maybe we should get back.
You're not going anywhere until the police arrive.
Ned didn't do it.
Of course he did. You only have to look at him.
You say it was started by a firework?
Almost certainly.
Dozens flew over the house. Any one of them could have set it off.
But we know they didn't.
If it was deliberate, why not just use a box of matches?
Because he's covering his tracks.
You're not that clever, are you, Ned?
You'll be hearing from me.
Thanks, officer. I think you better go as well, don't you?
Yeah. Go on, Billy.
You know as well as I do who did it.
It'll be hard to prove.
He's not getting away with this.
Of course not. Why don't you just leave
him to
Ned
get away with it, don't you?
I'm not thinking of him.
I'm sorry his daughter died, but it was an accident, and my husband may as well be dead too because of it.
All right. Have it your way. If you want to kiss goodbye to the insurance...
What do you mean?
They won't even think about paying up till after the trial and Ned's been found guilty.
I can't wait.
If it's a straightforward accident, we'll have the cheque within a month.
It's a risk I'm prepared to take.
I don't think so. If you do, I'll tell the police that you set him up for the insurance.
Right, Lady Oakwell, I'm all done.
Thank you.
What a mess.
Well, at least the insurance will cover all the costs of rebuilding.
Yes, indeed. I'll be in touch tomorrow.
Thank you. That's a relief. Now we can get on with rebuilding the business.
Hmm?
Can't we?
Yes, yes, of course you can.
Aye. You're sounding like a politician.
All right, I think it's time we drew our involvement to a close.
What?
I'm sorry, I really wanted it to work.
You can't do that to me. Not with all this.
I'm sorry, Tara, but it's all this that's tipped the balance. I've got to cut my losses.
But I thought we were partners.
Business partners break up, just like couples. And when they do, the partner who's freed leaves the other in need.
That rolled off the tongue. I suppose practice makes perfect.
Don't worry. You can buy me out for a fair price. I may even be prepared to make a loss.
Morning.
Hi, Tara. Kim, before I forget, there's a phone call from New Zealand. Something about breeding stock?
Ah, at last. I'll call them later.
Yeah, they said it was urgent.
Big deal. They can wait. We've got urgent business of our own.
Please, Kim, we must be able to thrash something out.
Sorry, Tara. I've made my decision. Steve will sew things up, won't you?
Sure.
Bye.
See you later.
Have a nice life. Right, Right then, where would you like to start sewing?
I might not have to.
No?
Kim acts on her instincts,
Alley cats generally do.
and usually she's right.
But?
I've been reconsidering the stud. I think it might work despite the fire,
Then why didn't you tell Kim that?
because my plan needs your approval first.
I'm listening.
We move the stud to Home Farm.
I can see that makes sense.
Yeah, I thought you would.
For Kim? But what's in it for me?
Short answer?
Please?
Survival.
Survival. I'll never have to sell the big issues, Steve.
An estate like Oakwell has to run as a business, and the stud's the biggest part of it.
I could walk away, spend my trust fund.
That'd be too easy.
My whole life's been easy, Steve. I rather like it.
I don't blame you. But there's something else you like even more, isn't there? Winning a fight?
Let this.
Oh, thanks.
I can't believe I've spent the entire day listening to two men reeling off lists of numbers.
Well, I'll sing them next time. Assuming you agree.
I may, but will Kim?
Well, I think I can persuade her.
I'm sure you can.
Let's call it a day. I can do without your bloodstock. I hope you feel the same about my money.
All settled amicably.
I never fancied going to New Zealand anyway. I've heard it's like Surrey, with sheep instead of stockbrokers.
Who said anything about going?
Well, that's what the argument was about. Everett wants me there in person by Saturday.
So?
I have a son, in case you hadn't noticed.
Well, take Sophie.
Sophie's not my slave, Steve. She has a contract, not to mention a girlfriend.
Well, there's no harm in asking her. Or do you really not want Everett's horses?
OK, I'll ask her. Let's change the subject. How did it go with Tara?
Like clockwork.
So she fell for the whole thing?
She will.
And what's that supposed to mean?
Good, you're touchy today. It means we've got Tara exactly where we want her. She's just waiting to hear your decision.
Let me see.
You are wicked.
It's a wicked world.
Sophie, see you in the morning.
So? What did she say about New Zealand?
I haven't asked her.
Excuse me?
Well, I couldn't find the moment.
Kim Tate wimped out.
I'll do it tomorrow.
Well, then she'll definitely say no.
Then I won't go to New Zealand.
Actually, I've got a better idea.
Oh, here we go.
I'll leave James here.
Oh, sure. Teach him to change his own nappies, use the microwave.
No.
Steve, Sophie's hours are 9 till 6. That leaves 15 with no carer.
Except for his stepdad-to-be.
What?
Well, aren't I?
You've got a business to run.
Yeah, but not from 6 till 9. Has Sophie said no yet?
Stop nagging, Steve. I'll ask her the second she arrives.
Sorry. I'm just excited about the prospect of playing Dad.
Sorry, Kim. Taxi was late turning up.
Again?
Yep.
A few days in the sun. Would that be nice?
Oh, at the moment I'd settle for a week in Whitley Bay. Is James upstairs?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll see to him.
Sophie, would you really like to get away for a few days?
I don't think Whitley Bay is quite ready for you, Kim.
Well, how about New Zealand? I'm going there on business. But I can't cope with James on my own.
Oh, I'll have to think about it.
Yeah, of course. It's up to you. And Zoe.
I'd love to. When?
Tonight.
Right. I'll pack my bags.
What's going on there?
I don't know. My guess is I won't need a book to read on the plane.
It took off really quickly.
Sorry, Steve. That's my job.
Yeah, I was hoping it might be mine for a while.
Oh, what do you mean?
Well, the last thing I expected was you to drop everything and go to New Zealand, so I offered to look after him at night when you went home to Zoe. Didn't I?
Oh.
But then, I always assume too much.
Yeah? Don't we all?
Do you know what I used to do every Friday? Run away.
Then I come back, get punished, feel sorry for myself, and then wait till the next Friday. I did that for 6 years.
What made you stop?
Something someone asked me.
What?
A friend. She asked me why I kept running away. I said because I wasn't happy. Then she said, you never tried being happy with what you've got. I realized. Running's what you do when you haven't tried hard enough to stay put.
Sophie? Now what? Oh, don't tell me. She's upset because I booked her into economy instead of first.
Only you could think that.
Well, what then?
I think it's time we reverted to plan B. Don't you, James?
That's it. Now, you have got my phone number in New Zealand.
In triplicate.
We'll make sure you use it. And if the Oakwell stud's moving here, I want to approve every step.
Done.
And I want to know if there's any more trouble from the Glovers.
Fine. Anything else you want to keep tabs on?
Such as?
Your son?
Ha ha ha. That goes without saying.
I won't let him have my side.
You better not do. It's your fault that Sophie changed her mind.
Yeah, and I'm very happy about it. Can't wait to start practicing being a dad.
Tell me that in 3 days' time.
Safe journey.
Happy nappy changing.